Well, hi. It's been a while since I've done a Words for Sunday. Summertime and just got doing a lot of things. It doesn't mean I haven't been into the Word. I have totally enjoyed our readings, especially last week's. I so wish I could have done a Words for Sunday because that Colossians text was incredibly rich. Um, for me, I don't understand why people don't get into the word. I mean, if you really read it and get into it, you will see, I hope, what I see, how life changing and illuminating and blessing it is. People wonder, hey, why are you so happy and peaceful all the time? Well, okay, I have sad days and bad days. Everybody does. But it is, I will tell you, it is scripture that centers me and blesses me and enriches me. And I wish all of you had that, which is a good lead into the text from the Gospel of Luke. As you know, we've been traveling through the book of Luke, and now we're getting into some pretty hard-hitting stuff. Why? Is because now he's messing with something we treasure a lot, and that's our stuff. I mean, last week we had that wonderful parable, and Pastor Darren had a good sermon about it, but about possessions, that we will not be life does not consist of the abundance of our possessions. And it was kind of weird because toward the dawn allows us to worship where we are. It's very what we call incarnational. And because of my circumstance, I was in a department store, LL Bean, watching people shop while I worshiped and heard the parable about how life does not consist of the abundance of our possessions. As I looked around, people shopping like crazy for the big sale, as if that's more important than anything else, because that is what defines life. And really, as we get into the text, we can see that defining life, what is life truly about? What gives us that peace, that joy that I'm trying so desperately to share with you? What gives us that? And we often think, well, it's our stuff, right? It's our possessions that make things worthwhile. But like we read, and I won't go dig through last week's text again, but like they say that the writer of Ecclesiastes says, all is vanity, all is chasing after the wind, seeking possession, seeking to be first, seeking to win is vanity. It's chasing the wind, because in the end, death negates everything. No one cares anymore. And besides, the only person that really cared anyway was you. And we get a little deeper into this week. That's why it's such a good. Luke is fantastic. It's my favorite gospel. Of course, I say that about whatever gospel I'm reading. But right now, it's Luke. Because, yeah, he's hard-hitting. I mean, today, he says, man, sell all your possessions, give alms, make purses for yourself to not wear out. Of what? Not of things, not of stuff, but the treasures of heaven. The treasures of heaven. The treasures of God's reign, of grace and love and hope and peace. Because these treasures, nothing can take away. Because that's where our heart, our love, our joy, our peace is found, is in the treasures of heaven. It's beautiful. Beautiful. As I shop, I keep thinking of garage sales we've had. I mean, one time my wife and I decided we were going to downsize. And so we had not one, but two, but three, but four. We had 5 garage sales. And the way you figure a price on a garage sale item is 20% of whatever you paid for it. 20%. And hopefully you get that. At the end, you end up just giving it all away anyway. What you think is so valuable is not really that valuable to somebody else. They all have expiration dates. But when I think of the joy and the love I've shared with my family and my friends, there's no expiration date to that. None. And not only that, the love and joy and peace and comfort and hope that I've given other people always plays forward to someone else. Always plays forward to someone else. Because where our heart is, that's where our treasure is too. If we have our heart in faith, sharing, caring, forgiving, that's where our treasure is. And yeah, we're all sinners. I am a sinner. I get this wrong all the time. Things can jump up at me and grab me and pull me into them, or some kind of personal achievement can grab me and pull me in. All the wannabes, I want to be healthy, I want to be popular, I want to be whatever, that can grab me, grab you too, and it always does, because we're all sinners, we're all broken people. But the good news is that Jesus doesn't come to condemn us, but just to show us a better way. Show us a better way. And that's a life of things that don't perish. Love, peace, fairness, kindness, peace, all those inner peace, all those things that God wishes for us. And it takes faith, which really is the best treasure to have in our hearts, because life is hard. And we believe in stuff, we'll eventually hit rock bottom. But our faith in God's love and presence and resurrection, that can't be taken from us. And I have seen that with my own eyes. People who have experienced terrible loss, terrible health issues. I've seen it on deathbeds, where people find the great treasure of faith to get them through it. So yes, your faith, believing in things that we cannot see and touch, but believe in God's grace, God's hope, God's forgiveness, God's peace, that's a treasure. And finally, I got just a couple more minutes here, trying to keep it to 10. Jesus ends this text with this wonderful thing about being alert. Keeping our eyes open. That faith is not something we just wear on Sunday morning. We don't come toward the dawn and get our $3 worth of God and log off. No, that's not how it works. I'm sorry. It's much more than that. That in fact, what I'm going to say to you is these great treasures of heaven, you got to always be ready with them. Because life's going to knock you down. Tantalizing temptations are going to grab your focus and turn you away from that. And so you always have to be ready. It's kind of like what Jesus is saying here is you got to walk the talk, man. You got to walk the path. You can't just talk about the path. You can't talk about how wonderful faith is. You have to walk it every day. It's not something you can just put on a show for. But it matters. And how you talk to your wife or your husband, it matters how you talk to your neighbor. It matters how you talk to your a worker or your neighbor or whoever. It matters to the person you see on the street. It matters so much every day. It's a struggle to have faith, but the struggle of having the gifts of heaven make it all worth it. When you find the joy of giving and sharing, you'll want more of it. Let me just end with this. And that's always a thing pastors hardly ever keep true, but I'll try to end with this. If you don't believe me, all you have to do is look at the joy it's been for us to call these people, us, but people who live in the United States. That's a better way because they're part of us too. The joy we have from having, for me, I'll just talk about me. The joy I have from seeing the joy of these Liberian brothers and sisters and how transforming they've been for us and how transforming we've been for them and for everyone. I mean, they're not, I hate this us them thing. It's not, they're like part of it. They're just as much part of me as anybody. It's just a joyful thing. We've been able to jump the Atlantic, the huge Atlantic Ocean. We've jumped it. We've jumped it. And the joy of having them as brothers and sisters and fellow members of God's rich kingdom is a great treasure. And if we had not kept our eyes open, we would have missed it. We would have missed it. But we haven't. And I love it. And I love the ministry of Toward the Dawn more than ever. And I don't understand. I don't understand why anybody wouldn't. But everybody's different. Everybody's on their own faith journey. But I understand how we freely give the treasures of heaven where you are, even at a department store on Sunday morning. Yeah. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Keep Pastor Goodson in prayer. He's going to be preaching Sunday. I don't know what he's going to do. You know, you never can predict a pastor's sermon, that's for sure. He's got a lot to choose from. He brings a lot to the table, too. So anyway, I'll see you Sunday and look forward to sharing God's gospel with you.